take away the money, and these guys will become disinterested in local governments. You know, it would just poof, deflated, and maybe we can now work out something. Because how could you not hold local government elections and you're sitting there comfortably, you know, relaxed?
It's how the governor or the government of the state wants it.
Relaxed about it since 2017, 2018, 2019. It's just ridiculous. But you know that you couldn't do that, and nobody could do that to you. When you win election as governor, you know your term is sacrosanct. Nothing will happen to your term in office. Nobody could just say, okay, you're fired.
Get up there.
I'm replacing you with a sole administrator. That will take a state of emergency to do something like that, which is a tall order most times. But look at us. So I think it's a good thing that happened, you know, in that Supreme Court that day. It's a great thing.
All right, there is this right out to the story that says they are somehow worried about the salaries of primary school teachers and council workers because it says some of those governors, they started strategizing on how to mitigate the effect of zero allocation to local government areas, which might cripple governance at the grassroots and also affect the salaries of workers, including primary school teachers.
Yeah, we are not saying that, you know, everything is now perfect by virtue of the ruling. And so the state governments are, of course, naturally going to shed some weight. Some of the things that they have been bearing before, they will shed it. That's normal. And then these people who have been saying it, if you are not educated enough to run local governments now
is the time to run.
Don't come back. Don't aspire to anything.
Because that is trouble.
If you are not creative enough, if you don't have what it takes to go and sit down there, because it's a heavy load now.
It is no more about Olola Julo Sokpe.
Because we now have to begin to create, you know, we have to recreate. It's something that came to us very comfortably before, because you had the local government concept for God only knows how many years. In the pre-colonial times, we had our local government systems. You know, as an administrative systems, the obas quartered their towns, they quartered their kingdoms. Excuse me. They quartered their kingdoms into, you know, such cubes that they could manage. And coming from, you know, far-flung quarters in the empires, you had, of course, didn't we have the DAILIES? The DAILIES system. In some other places, we had the Ogboni system. And Ogbonis, you know, took care of those quarters. And because most people think when you hear Ogboni, so because people are not really educated about these things. So we have been having that even in pre-colonial times. So the colonialists simply upgraded when they came around to provinces. So we had the provincial systems and everything. The LGAs called councils mostly as we evolved, you know, into this time. So you also had the ones that we had a stint, you know, with the civilians when they came into power immediately after independence, still likely using the colonial system. And then we transited, you know, firmly into the local government systems when the military took over and they started their mess. So it's not alien to us, and we did so well. Look, as young as I was, I still remember how the local council system was effective. When we went to my grandfather's farm, they called the place, that village far from Malaysia, they called the place, I think, Esun. Yes, because I was just a kid. And it had dispensaries. I could still perceive the scent of the dispensaries.
Wow.
You know, and everything around that village, I could recall it easily. And I was just like maybe some 3-4 years old. And they had dispensaries where people came to be treated. Now, where are you going to get dispensaries anymore? In those days, the local councils maintained everything. You know, you saw them carrying out their maintenance and everything. A lot of things. This Wole thing that we're talking about, it was, the councils.
Wow.
The councils were doing a lot. Now we have to, we did not develop as we should and evolve into this moment. So we now need to do a recreation, and it's not what we used to do in the past that will be relevant anymore.
Okay.
It's what this moment will take. That's what we must evolve into.
And what is that?
Well, technology has far advanced beyond that. All those villages I was talking about, they are now, built up. Some of them are estates now with one gate, and the rest is bush. So we have a lot of things, that already changed that we must attend to.
All right. We still have more things to discuss, more angles to go to. Talking about the elections. Should the INEC be in charge of the elections? And also talking about the relationship between the state government and the local government now. Is this still going to be rosy as before? We'll go pay some bills. When we're back, we'll discuss that.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
My baby is 6 months old. Oh my! 6 months old? Wow! Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam. From 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your State Ministry of Health.
bọ́dún ṣe ń gorí ọdún là ń dúpẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours alhamdulilayi kẹsíra ọpẹ́ olórí àdáàdá tán fọba tó tún fi ṣe àjọ ọdún yìí pọ́n wálé iṣẹ́ hajj ti wá yàtọ̀ sí ti tẹ́lẹ̀ ó kù sùn méjì tá a lọ ṣiṣẹ́ hajj níjọba alẹ́ Saudi ti fẹ́ kéèyàn onífísẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kó ti mọ ibi tí ó gbé kí gbogbo ètò sì ti tò fún gbogbo àwa tá ń jẹ ẹ̀hán kan láti ṣe hajj táwọn wò lọ́ọ̀kan ìtọ́dún 2025 ẹ̀yin náà tètè tara ṣàṣà kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ bọ̀ sí iléeṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours èèyàn dọ́tà àkọ́kọ́ 50 tó bá wá sílé iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours láti forúkọ sílẹ̀ fúnṣẹ́ àjọ̀dún 2025 owó wọn á dín sí àwọn yòókù ṣètọ́jú àwọn èèyàn wa ní ká sọ ni àbílẹ̀ tí ń gbé ní Madina àti Mẹ́kà tí ò jìnnà rárá síbi tí wọ́n ti ṣiṣẹ́ owó wa ló kéré jù a wà nílé gbàgàdàgbàgàdà tó wà lórí títì tá a pè ní Algaza building lákọ̀ọ́kà bus stop nítòsí ọlọ́ọ̀gbọ́n bus stop Old Ife road nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn 07032128882 07032128882.
ọmọ mi ti pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́ oṣù mẹ́fà ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́. ó ti yẹ pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà nìyẹn. ọmọ ò máa ń pẹ́ dàgbà o. báyìí o ọmọ rẹ ti wá nílò ju omi ọyàn nìkan lọ o. àkókò ti tó láti máa fún un ní oúnjẹ fífọ́ ní àfikún sí ọyàn. rí i dájú pé àwọn oúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ ní ó kéré tán ọ̀kan lára àwọn oúnjẹ àfọ́pọ̀ márùn-ún wọ̀nyí: ẹyin, ẹja tàbí ẹran, èso àti ewébẹ̀, epo tàbí òróró, ẹ̀wà, ẹ̀pà tàbí sóyà, ìrẹsì, ọ̀dùnkún, àgbàdo tàbí iṣu. ọmọ rẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti oṣù mẹ́fà nílò omi ọyàn àtàwọn oúnjẹ wọ̀nyí fún ìdàgbàsókè àti ìlera. máa fún wọn lọ́yàn títí yóò fi pé ọmọ ọdún 2 àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣe ANRIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Hello Nigerians, mummies, daddies and children, please listen. It's no longer news that there's cholera outbreak, but don't worry. Cholera is highly preventable with good hygiene practice in the home. Ensure you disinfect your floors, clothes and surfaces with Hypo bleach. And always remember to cover your toilets with Hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you'll protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
If you not find reliable property, making a developing again, no Magnum Skyrock property developer, we dey go. Then be your dog for property business, so then be Bamba Magnum Skyrock, and then be your guy. Now So, if you know the plan, say you want buy property, now only Magnum Skyrock Property Developer be your answer. Because nothing be the most trusted and reliable real estate developer we are know. Then they get both commercial and residential apartments for sale. No be joke. Now them be the real 001 and them be obonge for property business. Currently, Magnum Skyrock Property Developer then get units of shops where they won't sell. With the Olaokun opposite Obande Grammar School, Old Ife Road, where they very close to Gbagi Market, Ibadan. Now just 85 million naira. Very affordable and a day negotiable. If you check us today for our office where they Office 8, Joyce B Complex off Mobile Ring Road, Ibadan, Oyo State, or contact us on 0706 273 5759 or 0810 818 8449. Magnum Skyrock Property Developer. After you, now you.
ó wá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Mami, ẹ fi mílíkì sí ni.
kò di dandan ìwọ tó ọ̀hún ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
ǹjẹ́ mílíkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ àwàrà náà ṣàtò?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. mílíkì inú ẹ̀ péye mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílíkì sí i.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Milo 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun. mílíkì inú ẹ̀ péye ó kún fún káṣíọ̀mù láti ràn àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Milo, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is the Dailies right here. And of course, we are live on our Facebook page at Akidibo 887 FM. Apologies for not coming up on our Facebook page earlier. We had a bit of technical glitch. Now we're back. All right, before we went on that break, we were talking about the local government financial autonomy now and the pros and cons to it. Maestro, let us look at it from this angle. Now, we used to know the state government and the local government, we used to know they used to have a very good rapport. And then these people, not talking about the elections, how the elections go right now, they are always believed to be somewhat surrounding the governor as allies, if I may use that word. They are very close. And now that is not there, there is no more, Mr. Governor, I need to do this. We need money for this. Mr. Governor, see what we want to do. Can we have some money? That is not there any longer. What do you think would be the relationship between the state government and the local government at the moment?
It's going to be a little bit loose. Because, like you said, the lifeline of local government chairman was the governor. He initiated their becoming chairman in the first place, or caretaker committee, in the first place. He is the one who will initiate that. And so they essentially must have the lifeline sustained. So I can imagine that it's going to free, the local government people. But it's going to be gradual, especially in places where the chairman still got there by the grace of the governor. But the cycle is going to change a lot of things. In those places where elections will hold now,
yes,
I think it's going to be a little bit more keenly contested than before. Because people now know that, you could fight for it. There's money there.
And it is no more about the fact that this is my state, my political party governor.
Yes, there's money there. Money. So, and trust me, Nigerians are going to fight for money. Before they knew it was a dead end. So it was not worth it if it's not your governor. Even if it's your governor, what's the value? But now, you could fight and go and sit over that nest.
I'll be in charge.
The egg nest is attractive. But then, like I said yesterday during the Yoruba program, because you don't have any immunity, and so it could happen to you. You could go from office to jail. But that's not even my serious concern at this point. I'm interested in the fact that, to pick my thread before I go elsewhere, the point is, when the elections now come, you could see that you have some kind of difference. The way one party might win here, another there, and so on. It might happen fairly now. I don't know, but people might really fight for that now. You have a scanty few outside of the ruling party.
Because there is something there now.
Yes.
All right, the second measure.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
All right, we're back.
But if and when INEC begins to hold the elections, that's when you're most likely to see the truth, of how people feel about, their polls. And so when INEC begins to hold elections, you might have half-half. Because it's not real. Imagine if you became governor with about 200,000 votes, for instance. No, seriously.
Okay.
If you became governor, in a state with about 200,000 votes, just saying.
Yeah.
And then the total votes, the other party got about 180,000 votes. 200,000, 180,000. You defeated them just by
about 20.
About 20. How then do you scrape all the local governments?
Oh.
Everything. So that's really not true. That the truth will be reflected or might be reflected when INEC, hopefully begins to hold the local government.
Does that mean CX their job is really not well done? I mean, they're supposed to be. Yes.
CX. No,
yes.
They are appendages of the governor's office. That's the truth everywhere.
Are they not supposed to be independent?
Is INEC not supposed to be independent?
But they are not.
How independent is INEC?
Wow.
The president will pick who is going to be the chairman.
But is it not the same
INEC
thing now then?
That's what I'm saying. So we're just, instead of sprinting along the lanes of progress, what we are doing is we are crawling our way. In fact, we are in a stasis. So when things like this happen, people like me are seeing some things. The number one thing I see about this is redistribution of wealth. I'm not saying that in very tight terms. I'm saying it loosely. So that this money, however, little or much, will go to some other people outside of the governor's, orbit.
Okay.
So outside of the ruling party's orbit, it will go to different, settings in terms of local governments. And so that's major for me. It's also going to help, the electoral process along. Whichever way you look at it, some other political parties are going to be winning elections into local governments.
Okay. But talking about what you said concerning Owori,
yes.
Yes, these people, they have no immunity.
None.
Yes, and if they do anything, they are going straight to jail. Do you not see that? I don't know if you can see a form of politics coming from the side of, let's say, the local government, of a different party to that of the state government. And do you not see this as a way of that state government can manipulate these people going straight to jail?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, if you did
because
not,
people are worried if you are not on the same part
with
the state government.
It's not like state government will pick somebody and throw them in
But we
jail.
know how
It
politics
has to
can be
through the court process.
Through a court process.
So they're going to say, okay, you stole money, and it's not even likely going to be the state government prosecuting. It's going to be EFCC.
Okay. Then.
It's going to be the police. It's going to be, whatever role the police is playing if you go that low. Because there are certain amounts that the police could get involved and handle the process. But majorly, we are going to be looking at the EFCC, the ICPC. Those are the two agencies that will be standing by, for gluttonous local government chairmen to railroad them through the process.
So the good ones can be rest assured that
I don't think anybody would deliberately. I know politicians do things to one another. But I believe it's going to be more in the area of propaganda, to do their political damage to whoever they want to. Say, oh, that person from the opposing political party is a thief. He stole this, he stole that. And they will be doing that most through to the media. I don't think... yes, they could be vindictive, but I don't And let me tell you something. What politicians do to one another does not bother me a lot. I'm telling you the truth because they are the same. We are the ones who just we shortchange ourselves when this politician does this thing to the other politician, and we begin to say, that's
not fair,
and all that. You are just wasting your time because very soon the other one is going to begin to do it to this other one. Look at what's happening in Rivers State. It's just on a mega scale. All the other governors since 1999 have been doing the same thing. So people have been emerging through crises of some sorts, but this one is just on a mega scale. And because now we are even more conscious. Now we have the social media, we have the internet and everything, so we know precisely. Unlike 1999 when they were doing all those things and we didn't know what was happening. So that's it. Every River State, governor aspired to the presidency of Nigeria. And so they wanted to do some things, one or two things to ensure that, though we haven't seen it.
I saw something. Someone saying Wike will come back to contest in 2027 for presidency. That President Tinubu should not be too laid back concerning Wike.
No, I don't believe that, that's something anybody will be worrying about immediately. 2027 for the politician is already tomorrow. We are the ones who see 2027 like...
It's too far.
So you can't honestly be on the same wavelength with a politician the way they deal with time. It's like the day they get into that position, they'll start working on continued relevance or on the next position. So if you are advising this kind of president now, that Wike will contest against him, you are too late. He already considered it maybe last year. So
And has already dealt with it.
Well, I don't know, but I know that that's the way politicians think. And that's not the way we think. When we look at it and say, okay, next year, I can still leave this thing for now. Let me go and attend to other things. That's not the way the politician thinks.
They're way ahead of us.
Yes.
All right.
The timeline.
Last week, we had the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, that is Abubakar Kyari, saying that duties, tariffs, and taxes on the importation of maize, rice, wheat, and cowpeas will be suspended through Nigeria's land and sea borders for 180 days to ease the price hike of food items. And we had people saying, just people reacting, saying, oh, okay, maybe this is good, maybe this is not, maybe this is how you should have done it. Now we have the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, saying that whatever the federal government did, the plan is to allow massive import of staple food to crash prices. They're saying the decision to suspend the duties and taxes on import food commodities is, in quote, depressing, because Nigeria is not supposed to be dependent. And this one, even for the fact that it is for a very short term, it is somehow going to frustrate the effort of private investors in the agriculture sector and also just take them back from what they've been trying to build all this while. In short, that decision is not a good one, coming from Dr. Akinwumi Adesina.
Well, I don't believe that he has the big picture. I think he's talking from a very narrow position. He occupies an office, that that's not the president's office. His office is looking at things from a different perspective. The president's office is, looking at the entire country called Nigeria. And it's not thinking about right now in taking that decision. It's not thinking about balance sheets. It's thinking about balanced bellies of millions of Nigerians who are hungry, who are not interested in English language at this point. And their major consideration is not towards the big time farmers at this point. So it's not. I don't think he gets it. I know he could get it, but sometimes when you are in some of these big offices and you go and talk, you are talking for a particular purpose.
Okay.
So I don't know who his audience is. Maybe his audience is the international organizations
It was a retreat.
So he will say the right things to say in such a place.
But he said this decision made by the federal government would only address a short-term food prices hike in the country.
So why is he even bothering to talk about it? He already heard that it's a short-term plan. Didn't he? He heard that. So he is dancing back and forth.
So what about the long-term then?
You see, the long-term is... you have short-term, medium, long-term decisions, plans. Everybody knows that when you are dealing with such, concerns of this magnitude, you cannot have just one plan. You have to have them in those 3 dimensions. And this particular one that they announced, though I regret that they announced it, yes, and with hindsight, because I simply applauded when I heard it that, okay, this might just mitigate, our situation a little bit so that people could afford some food items and so on. But I probably would have had it without announcement, because the announcement eventually also hurt the exchange rate. It affected it, something that had been hovering around, 1.4, for a while, jumped to 1.5. And heading to 1.6.
People are trying to get prepared.
So some of these things, it's as bad as the announcement of it. Even your body language, would affect these things in that way. Other than that, I think it's the thing to do at that point. And received a lot of applause from people generally that, okay, let's see the impact. But I understand Mr. Adeshino's position that at the table which he heads, he has to talk in certain terms, which might not tally with what we are feeling on ground here.
All right then. Now we have a news coming. Talking to Mr. Ali Ndume, saying that President Tinubu can't be accessible to all. That one is coming from presidency, and also telling Mr. Ndume that it is not everyone that will see the president. I think that is in relation with the news that came out last week, saying the president is not accessible to all.
I know that they have a job to do, but I don't think they should be, responding to everybody.
To something like that.
And they also played a clever one. Ndume made 2 statements. He talked about the difficulty in town.
Yes.
And he also talked about, inaccessibility to the president.
They replied on that one. They said the president is fully aware of whatever it is that is going on in the country.
So there's nothing wrong with him saying it, because all of us are saying it. So I believe they should have addressed that one properly. They didn't address it properly. So the other one, though...
Wow, it's even on X. He tweeted, I think that should be the senior special assistant to the president of media and publicity, Temitope Ajayi. And I don't think I can even read what he wrote on that.
And I've always insisted that they don't necessarily have to be nasty.
Wow, this is nasty.
They don't have to be nasty representing the president, especially when you are talking about an Ali Ndume. Ali Ndume has been like that forever.
Yeah, that's what he said. It's part of what he said.
So
he has been like that.
Then so why do you bother? Let some other people talk about it, and you just move on. But you see, some of the time, people who even serve around the presidency and the governors and so on, the governors are even still better. Most of the time, they are closer to these questions. But when it's the presidency, most people who talk on behalf of the president appointment and everything, are busy trying to, sometimes show that they are doing their jobs. And they go overboard sometimes. You need a lot of decency. A lot of decency to show that you're, above this line.
Considering the office you're even speaking for.
Yes, that's the point. So don't be nasty. You don't have to be nasty. I understand occasionally if you are nasty
you
a
have
little
to give
because
you
can, but not be consistent about that. I remember, Ura, when Jonathan was in office, and he had Ruben Abati as his points person.
Yeah.
And some of us were like, Ruben Abati was a gentleman. He's not going to be able to
So you thought
play the role of attack dog. Yeah, and he is. You know, that's this is somebody we all knew. So I mean, he could handle his pen very well and everything. So he started doing it in his own way. Do you know some people are telling President Goodluck that this guy cannot?
What's he doing?
I mean, find somebody. Eventually, he caved in, and he brought in Dr. Okukwe, and Dr. Okukwe,
who can give the
started doing that. So it tells you that sometimes in there, the game is not what you see entirely.
But one thing he said that I think we already mentioned in the studio last week is the fact that people like him only remember the poor and the fact that Nigerians are suffering when the agenda and the indulgences can't be met. As I said, we have to go pay some bills now. When we're back, we'll continue the conversation in the studio and touch on a few other things before we open the phone lines. We'll be back.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún, ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
Kí ìwọ àtọyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye. Máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
My country people, mama, papa and pikin, make una listen o. Cholera full town o, but make you no fear. Cholera na disease wey you fit prevent with better hygiene practice for your home. Just dey disinfect your floors, clothes and every corner for your yard with hypo bleach. And no forget to dey clean your toilets with hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you go protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your State Ministry of Health.
My son, help me check this phone. I no know wetin Junior press. E no dey work again.
Make I see. Mommy.
Wetin happen?
They don block your line now.
Nobody like to chop blocking o. So, if they don block you unto say you no link your NIN to your Airtel line, run kitikiti go any Airtel shop with your NIN to unblock your line today.
Airtel, a reason to imagine. Akidibo 88.7 FM.
We're back. This is still the dailies right here in the Kole Amzat studio, and of course you can still join us on our Facebook page at Agidigbo 887. Maestro, we're back. Let us speak up other stories to discuss this morning.
Before we move on,
okay,
the one you talked about last on Ndume, it's not true that Ndume does not have the capacity or introspection. It's not true. If you go and check, you just go and check Ndume's profile, you will see that he's a brilliant person and quite intelligent. But you see, the point is, what I tell people is, you could be brilliant, you could be highly intelligent, but those things are neutral factors. Do you know that? It depends on what you now apply your intelligence to. That is when, we will know the direction you're going. That's when it becomes potent. So somebody is super brilliant and he decides to go and create the nuclear bomb. Okay? That's what you put your brilliance to. That's where you apply your brilliance. And somebody decides to do a life-saving device. You understand? So until you apply that brilliance to something, so that's actually what we judge. And Ndume saying that when he was in Bodilon, you could go there 3 a.m., which means probably he went there once or twice. You could go there 3 a.m. and you will still meet him. But now you can't meet him. Does he not understand? And this is why they are saying he's not intelligent. It's not true. He is. But in truth, how could you be comparing the time of a Nigerian who is not a president? How could you be comparing his time with a moment when he's now the president
with more responsibilities?
Now that the whole world wants to see him, including heads of states all over the world, including business tycoons everywhere. And how many Nigerians are out there who do not want to see the president? You have people in political parties, all of them want to see him. And so if he's going to run an open door policy, the like of to satisfy Ali Ndume, he probably won't do anything else. And then Ali Ndume will come round again to say, well, the doors are ajar, they are having a party all over the... So that's, it's funny.
All right. Maestro, we have some people saying that reopening borders will help stabilize food prices. And we've had this talk. I mean, I think we had it last week in the studio too. And people keep also saying, okay, they also kept saying, please open the border for us.
I don't know. You see,
will it actually help stabilize food prices?
It depends on who is saying it. You understand? Because people could latch on to anything and begin to push that position. Who is saying open the borders? You need to see who is saying it. If I say, for instance, the president should throw open the borders, if I'm saying that, you will ask me, why are you saying the president should open the borders? Oh, you say because food will come in. How? What kind of food are you talking about? Are you saying that, okay, smuggling activities would increase and bring in food so as to solve the high cost of the commodities in our country? Which means you're saying, let's open the borders so that smuggling would. Or are you saying that because duties will be cheaper in neighboring countries like Benin Republic, for instance, if you open the borders, food will come in from overseas through neighboring borders, at cheaper rates. So what are you saying precisely? Most of the people who are saying open the borders, they probably don't even understand that part of the story.
Exactly. I mean, people will be like, we don't care, just open it.
No, you can't say you don't care because the consequences will be greater than in your individual care or carelessness along the line. So that's why I said last week that, people in office, they have much more information than the person who simply wants to eat. And as soon as I eat, I'm okay. Whether guns are flowing into your country, whether bullets are flowing in, whatever arms are flowing in, that's your business. I've eaten and I'm fine. So somebody has to now take responsibility of making decisions above such a person. That's what is called leadership.
Okay.
But when leadership is turning out in definition to imply hunger, that is when you hear the sound of people who should not be in certain conversations more because they are hungry. So you have brought them into that level of the conversation by your lack of capacity or inability to lead correctly, because that's what we ascribe hunger to, and whatever else factors you want to bring in. If you were leading well since 1999, there wouldn't be hunger on the streets of Nigeria because you left a lot of things undone. And yes, we are talking about our productivity, which has always been far below par. For how long have we been talking about Nigeria being a mono-product economy? It's only oil. We hardly do any other thing.
That's the other thing we rely on.
When we should have been powering up in terms of agriculture, but all attempts to do meaningful agriculture in competitive terms failed over the years. So we don't know if we are going to be able to do it now.
All right then, Maestro, quickly let us talk about this because I think the University of Ibadan had the induction ceremony into the medical profession for their MBBS and BDS graduating class of 2024. And among the things that they were telling these young doctors was, please do not chakma, let us build Nigeria together. And then we had the provost saying there is danger in letting the best hands we have in Nigeria go.
It's not going to happen by advocacy
alone.
No, as they are saying it, those graduates are laughing inside
because some of them they already completed the process.
They say we just be playing.
They play.
So I won't go. So that you will be here, doing this. So it doesn't. Advocacy does not help.
Then what does?
What does is we have to attack the problem frontally. You see, in all societies in this life, you have class. There are classes, that serious societies deliberately create. And unfortunately, our own class is about putting the politician somewhere up there. And his productivity is nothing. So in those other societies, if his productivity is not zero, we will not be talking like this. So let's just not, there's no argument there. And yet, despite the fact that he offers very little, he still has the pride of place. He occupies the kind of class that he doesn't belong to. He belongs to the class of business moguls. That's the kind of money his financial status qualifies him to sit with business moguls and people who are successful business people. In other societies, you have a class, for doctors. Look, why are they snatching them up in all those serious countries? It is because they belong to a class in those societies that they don't belong here in our society. Because we are an unserious society. You see,
we're serious about healthcare.
Everything. We are not serious about anything. Go and look at where the Americans put their farmers. They are high up there. Go and look at where they put innovators. Go and look at where they put professors emeritus. Which reminds me of Professor Wole Soyinka.
All right.
An amazing personality who's written about 52 solid books over 64 years. In 64 years, this man sat down and wrote about 52 solid books, not just book. So when some of these miscreants and street urchins on the superhighway begin to talk nonsense about someone like that, you know that they are non-starters. They don't even understand the essence of Wole Soyinka. We wish Prof a happy birthday. But what I'm saying is, in those societies, they put people like that, and that's why he's been lecturing there forever. He could have been here. And then if we organize our society very well, those people he's training there, they would have been coming
down here
with their foreign, currency and everything.
Wow.
So we will have an ideal society. But do you know that we were heading precisely in such direction before? In the days of the regions, you saw a lot of white students in UI here. You saw a lot of white students in Ife. They were coming over here. I told you about UCH. The Saudi king was coming
to
here
receive treatment.
Yes, and then when you revert the teacher in this country, you revert the teacher. Those teacher oku, the ballet will know that they have transferred one teacher oku, and then they will be putting yam. They will be making him comfortable.
Yes.
That's the class he belonged to, and that's how we took education. So he's a degree holder. So he has a
the
degree.
honor was there.
And then masters, doctor. All of a sudden, poof. What we now started revering and respecting military uniforms. You are a policeman. Wuraola So we started rearranging this society in such a way that the people that we should class high up there, we brought them down. And the people who should be just in their different classes, we raised them up and began deifying them.
So now these people are going outside the country to get what they truly deserve.
Of course, you see, the young person today is not interested in your advocacy. He has his vision locked into a good life.
He wants to jackpot and go make money.
He wants a good life. He wants to make a difference in the lives of, his parents, his siblings. And you're now saying he shouldn't go. He already sees a lot of people who went ahead of him.
And they are doing fine.
They are doing fine. And he knows the class that he will belong to in the country he's going. They are even begging him to come.
Exactly.
And you are now saying he should be wallowing in this kind of poverty and corruption and slime. No, I don't think advocacy will cut it. But then, of course, they have to say those things.
I mean, this is what they have to do. Let us open the phone lines now for people to join in the conversation this morning. 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 7008 873. But then, let's listen to this first.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the word, hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 7008 873. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Mr. Maestro, good morning. Wuraola, good morning. My name is Chief James Adebayo, calling from the Kolaba.
All right, so your contribution.
I want to talk on Ali Dume's statement that the president is not accessible. I watched a program on one of the television. We wish one man was invited to that television station. That man is from his own state, Borno State. The man said Ali Dume himself is not accessible in his own senatorial district. That we should not believe in. The man who says so is Daniel Buala from the state. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So that's to say, even you are making
who
that
is accessible. Everybody who has anything is inaccessible to some people. Because, people are going to come up to you to say, give me. And they don't reckon with the fact that you have, limited, whatever it is. Whether it is money, everybody has limited. Even the Ambanis of this world have limited. Eventually, the Dangotes, there's a number.
Yes.
And even if it's your time, there's a limited time. You don't have unlimited. Nobody has unlimited time, so you have to manage. And in managing, some people are going to be out there. Some people will be able to come in. That should be expected.
All right. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Take your name or where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Adeshina. I'm calling from Factory Ikoyi.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
In fact, I don't have much to say. But I want to give you guys kudos, most especially the brother in the studio.
Maestro.
Bros, we pray that may Almighty Allah put you guys into higher position in our politics. Because the way you sense, bros, I always like to listen to your radio, especially this program. I give you kudos, bros.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. We sincerely appreciate that. Raji Hafiz Abidemi says, on the issue of local government autonomy granted by Supreme Court, the governors are not happy about it, and the chairmen in all 774 local governments just have to know what they are doing. By virtue of their selection or election, the fear of the governor is the beginning of wisdom. But with the new autonomy, the fear of EFCC is also the beginning of wisdom. Also, the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission should also ensure that allocation is published on a monthly basis. This was the order during Obasanjo's first tenure. God bless Nigeria.
What gives them the impression that governors don't like it?
Hello, good morning. Do they?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sayanima. Where you're calling from?
This is Neil from Bodija.
All right, sir.
On the issue of Indume, I think my brother there is saying what is just to be a kind of advice for generality of Nigeria. He's not talking about Indume. He's talking about a class of people in Indume position. One, find out that Indume is intelligent, is well knowledgeable, but where is he putting his knowledge and intelligence into? In which direction? You see, we have some people they are calling evil genius. They are intelligent, they have knowledge, but they are putting their efforts in evil direction. That is why they are calling them evil genius. So what he is saying is that people should put their intelligence in good direction. And that good direction is God direction. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Shola Ojo, I see your comment on the Facebook page, but I'm not so sure that relates with anything we've been talking about. Today, who says, I wish Prof what he wishes himself. I think that is Professor Wole Soyinka. Thank you for that. Yes, Maestro, over the weekend, we had, I think on Friday, we had a coronation of the new Olubadan of Ile. But wait, let's pick this call first. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I am Johnson. I'm calling from Olode area in Ibadan.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Yeah, I want to say something about the local government judgment. Now, the lecturer has said the right thing. If this is money and this is jail, either you like it, take one. Now, the point is that the governors may not like it. They will not like it. The problem we now have is that they say INEC is supposed to conduct all elections. It is not difficult for INEC to conduct local government elections. All the elections we have had in this country, from the president to the houses of assembly, we have the wards, we have the local government, and the INEC has offices in all the local governments of the federation. Why can't INEC conduct the election? It's not difficult. I think it's a double standard. I don't know. In fact, I cannot decipher where the law came from to establish the state electoral offices. I don't know. So it's only the INEC. Even though it is totally credible, it will be somehow credible than the state to handle local government elections.
All right.
I think we are getting to that direction. God bless Nigeria.
All right.
That's what we're saying, that it should be fast. It shouldn't be difficult for the National Assembly to make a law that would empower INEC to hold local government elections. It's our best shot, in the short run.
Not in the long run. All right, Joel Atilade says, God bless you, Maestro. The judgment of the Supreme Court on local government autonomy is a welcome development. However, until the local government elections are conducted by INEC, as you said, the party in power will continue to sweep all chairmen and councillors, thereby giving the governors indirect influence on the chairman. He will place the pipers, dictate tunes.
I don't believe, though, that they are going to be winning all as before.
Before?
No, it's going to be tough now. Look, Nigerians, we are talking about money here.
Let's say they used to be silent before. Those that used to be silent before, they won't be.
Because it was not worth your while. It wasn't worth the trouble.
It wasn't even there.
So people were just like, oh, there's no point. But now that you could win a local government election and go on to, some people will be very serious. They want to make a difference in the lives of the people of that local government. They are serious. there will be certain instances where, the obas, the DAILIES, the obis, the emirs, everybody in a particular local government like a particular candidate.
Yes.
They will go all out. It's going to be different now.
Because we know you are going to be in charge of our money.
And politicians will now invest more money in local government elections. They were not investing money before. Like they will invest money in all the other elections, presidential, gubernatorial,
because they already know how that
legislature.
will go.
Of course, so you spend money and you are going to, you know what we do now. But this time around that, the money is coming directly. So it's going to take some assessment because that 20.60% of the federal allocation that we're talking about, you have to realize how much is coming to your local government. So before you now begin to really sweat, if it's 500 million naira monthly, you want to calculate how much. You can't invest billions to make millions. So we're going to see this thing will just unravel gradually, and we will get wiser.
All right then. Kazim Olawale says, whether the president is accessible or not, Ndumi have said the obvious. Nigerians are suffering, and he should stop his killing policies. Thank you for using that pronoun because I do not know who that is referring to.
What?
The pronoun, and he should stop his killing policies. I don't know who he's referring to.
Killing policies.
And I'll just like to leave it there. Joel Atlade Guadagesha says, why didn't Ndume say that during the 8 years of former President Buhari? That's a northern conspiracy. Wow. All right then. 0704
It's not northern conspiracy. People should not be lavish with errors.
I mean, people have a personal beef.
Don't let's be lavish with errors. That's not. You can't say Ndume is representing the entire North when he speaks. He represents himself, and he's from one, senatorial district.
Exactly.
He does not even represent the entire district. You heard what another caller said.
Yeah,
he saw a program, and somebody, Daniel Bwala from his still local government, was telling him,
even
you as a senator, you are not accessible. So it's wrong to say it's a northern anything.
All right then. Maestro, we had the coronation of Olubadan of Ilebadan. Yes, that was on Friday, and I must say, I think we are all settled now. Let me just say Arawati Valley or something like that.
Yeah, well, not totally.
Because there's another issue on
there are issues that developed around the thing.
Exactly.
And that people are talking about. Personally, I'm very happy for the new Olubadan. Through thick and thin. It's not, you see, I reflect a lot on age. It's like being in a flight in the rain, a bird in the flight in the rain, perching occasionally right through the ages, and then you get to this age, and then you now get to this position.
Eventually,
it's not something that I want to be really loud about. It's something I want to be deep about. That I look at this man, and what God has done for him. Through thick and thin, and I'm very happy, for him that he attained, that post after a very long time. He entered the mortgage system in 1983. That's a long walk, to this point. So we need to understand the magnitude of that. And then he is the one who now sits in the stool of a brand new palace.
A brand new palace.
It's beautiful.
Right.
So we should, really be happy for him and appreciate all those things. But apart from that, the governor also made a statement. It's a very strong one.
Before we go to that one.
Okay, let me pick other issues then.
No, before we go to that one, Maestro, we had, I think, the Minister of Power representing the president at the event that day.
Yes.
And I listened to his speech. I mean, I was listening and then I was like, okay, what is going on? What do you say to the way he delivered the speech? What's your judgment at that?
He was representing.
He was representing.
And maybe he embellished a little bit. Maybe. He's a politician. He has to seize the moment and make it very useful for him and his ambition.
Even him being sent.
Yes.
It's something attached to it.
Who sent him knew he was going to, probably knew he was going to add a spice or two.
Hey.
So, fine. No problem. We are... all appealing to Almighty God to spare our lives.
Till then?
Yes.
Till 2027.
So it's beautiful. I don't fault him. he was in the limelight for a moment, and he must use it as a politician to favor himself. There's no politician that will pass that opportunity. That's number one. The second thing is, like I said, the governor made a very powerful statement.
Yes, very powerful.
That whoever did not, fulfill a particular condition,
so he's not doesn't have a beaded crown,
might not head on to do this. Personally, I don't believe that stage or that day is the day for that kind of statement.
Well, he did it.
Yes, he did, but he's the man in charge, and
it was even in paper.
It's the way power behaves.
Wow.
So he's the man in charge. He made his own statement. But that's the thing I say about power. You must be a student of power to be able to deal with it very well. We don't know. All of us, we don't know what's going to happen, tomorrow, including the governor. He doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow. A tenure will end, and then some other things will happen. If and I don't want to go into fatal issues because it's all with God. So let's leave that one, aside. Suffice to just say that I would have preferred he didn't make the statement on the day. Because it's a day of joy for everybody, and he should have gone on the.
And we just came back from court.
On the note, and I think the governor has a penchant for making that kind of statement. I think his outlook to life. There was a time he also said that anybody above 50, I think, will not become the governor.
Yes, will not contest. He would not support.
Those are very big things, But like I told you, that's how power behaves. So, and that's where power rests today. Let's leave that in the hands of time and providence. The other thing that I absolutely did not like on the day is the positioning where they sat the Onirisha. I don't think that's where he belonged on the day. I think the governor of Ogun State should have been on the side of the governor of Oyo State. Should have been occupying, a seat on that side. And then the Oni should have been next to Olubadan, and then the Sultan should have been the next. Should have been sat next to Oni.
I think he was representing who? I think representing the Governors Forum, the Southwest. I mean, he's distant.
No, what I'm saying is they could have done the sitting arrangement better.
Right. There are other things, because I think the Minister of Power was supposed to represent the President, right?
Yes.
And he spoke. After he spoke, we had another person.
The politicians and public office holders on one side, the royal fathers, on the other side would have been it. And then you get the sitting arrangement correct.
All right.
So I think it was, what do they call it? Faux pas, maybe.
Okay, let's go for some biz. When we're back, we'll continue the conversation. We're still on the issue of the Olubadan coronation that happened on Friday. We'll discuss more about it. We'll be back.
Akitibo 88.7 FM.
Ó wá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Mami, fi mílìkì sí ni.
Kò di dandan ìwọ tó wò ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
Ǹjẹ́ mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
Ṣé ọ̀rá wàrà náà ṣàtò?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Mílò 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. Mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye. Mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílìkì sí.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
Fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní mílò 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun, mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye. Ó kún fún káṣíọ̀mù láti ràn àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Mílò, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Mílò. Ìmọ́tótó ló lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn gbogbo.
Láti dènà àrùn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru àti àrùn mìíràn, pàápàá nínú àwọn ọmọdé, fọ ọwọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú ọṣẹ àtomi tó ń dà ṣooro. Ní pàtàkì jùlọ, tó o bá lo ilé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ tán lẹ́yìn tó bá ti ṣàǹdí fọ́mọ tán, kó o tó ṣoúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ tàbí kó o tó fún un lóúnjẹ. Àti pé tí ọmọ rẹ bá ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru, fún un ní oògùn oníwóró zinc lẹ́ẹ̀kan lójúmọ́ àti ORS ní wákàtí mẹ́rin tàbí kí ẹ máa fún díẹ̀díẹ̀ nínú ife. Èyí á jẹ́ kọ́mọ rẹ lè ní ìdápadà omi ara àtokun. Bákan náà, yọjú sílé iṣẹ́ ètò ìlera tó bá súnmọ́ ọ jùlọ láti gba ìtọ́jú fọ́mọ tó ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣe iṣẹ́ ANALYST, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Big mommy, add that bokoto we go senior school, put 2 roundabout, anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
Uncle, no vex o. Which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth will be like where motor jam truck. E no dey worry you again.
That one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Please have to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
Hello Nigerians, mummies, daddies and children, please listen. It's no longer news that there's cholera outbreak, but don't worry. Cholera is highly preventable with good hygiene practice in the home. Ensure you disinfect your floors, clothes and surfaces with hypo bleach. And always remember to care for your toilets with hypo toilet cleaner. This way, you'll protect your family and stop the spread of cholera.
ìjàgùdù símá kábàánì lórúkọ jẹ́ fẹ́ lọ lórí káràkátà gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fẹ́ ra mọ́tò ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ ìrọ̀rùn tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ tó dángájíá àbẹ́yìn tẹ́ fẹ́ tà á iléeṣẹ́ rédíò àgídìgbò ti ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ètò ìrọ̀rùn fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin aráàlú tẹ́ ní mọ́tò tẹ́ fẹ́ tà àbẹ́ rí mọ́tò tẹ́ fẹ́ rà ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ ń bẹ̀rù alágbèédá ó yá ẹ kàn ṣẹ́ka àgídìgbò atọ́kọ̀ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn àlàálẹ̀ ètò tí fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ níléeṣẹ́ rédíò àgídìgbò bẹ́ẹ̀ làǹfààní san díẹ̀díẹ̀ tún wà tẹ́ bá ti wá ṣe tán ẹ pè sórí àwọn nọ́mbà yìí 07034229105 tàbí 08028714663 àgídìgbò atọ́kọ̀ṣe ọkọ̀ gígùn dìrò.
legend ọmọ ìyá mi ṣó ti get.
Àgídìgbò 88.7 FM.
All right, we're back at 070410018887 or +2347047008873. Femi Ranki says, when we begin to value our professionals, they will stay. We glorify politicians and military who are involved in putting us in this sorry position. On local government autonomy, it is going to be exciting, and we can now be going to our local government area to demand good local governance from the administrators. Good morning and long live the new Olubadan. Oluwaseun Johnson says, I hope the local government financial autonomy won't affect ongoing projects of the state governor. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name
Larry Jelly from Bodija.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Concerning coronation of Olubadan, I think the arrangement was poor on that day concerning how people were seated. Especially, we need to give recognition and recognize our mother that came from far away. Especially Sultan and on everything.
Yeah.
The concerning statement of our governor, I think we can meet any governor, but God is the only one that has life and can give life to whatever is going to happen in the future. Nobody knows next.
Thank you so much for your contribution. I think we can still pick a caller 2070410018887. Kappa says we only have one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name or where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Mr. Bayo from Jericho.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
All right, so I just want to talk about the local government autonomy. I think is a good direction, and but the issue I have is it's going to be more competitive now. However, what I feel propose is that the INEC should still, be in charge at the end of the day. It will make it more transparent. So that's just my own contribution.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Maestro, why are people saying what happened to Trump was staged? Does it look staged? Would he risk his life to that extent?
It's very difficult to... I know they're saying that because Trump is a very crooked person.
And we know how Trump can be.
When you look at that thing, it looked real.
Yes.
And people died. At least 2 people died.
He was affected.
The shooter died and one other person died and one person critically injured. But why they are saying that is, you see, when you get shot at, you don't pump fists.
Again.
And say, fight on. And especially when the bullet is, it's just a grazing thing.
Yeah, there was blood on his face.
So, it's difficult. Maybe everything simply worked out for him, and he played the macho, and so on, which is good for his election bid. But that society is a society where they could really dig out a lot of things. So if anything happened in that direction, we will still get. But when I look at it, it's difficult to say anything was staged.
It was staged to that extent.
But when people get shot at, you want to lie low there for forever, sincerely. And because when Ronald Reagan, in the case of Ronald Reagan and some other people, nobody was pumping fists.
Of course, you should be shocked.
Gunshot. You should be shell shocked. And but we didn't see a lot of that. Maybe that's why they're saying that.
Okay, Maestro, your partner shot quickly, a few seconds.
My mind is on kids to be able to grow them and arm them in such a way that they will stand their own against this very, very chaotic future that is coming. To arm our kids, with the wherewithal to face this bold future.
All right. Thank you so much, Maestro. Aria Yodele Adebayo says on the coronation day, the statement of the governor is pregnant. All right, then. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's not pregnant. It's obvious.
Tomorrow we shall be back again to discuss about our great nation. My name is Wuraola Yusuff. I'll see you tomorrow.